Cool.
Open up a new tab.
Yeah.
And go to gov.uk. This is the corporate entity called our government, right?
Yep.
And then, but what I did was welcome to gov.uk. Click on that top one. And then coronavirus, that top right-hand link, coronavirus guidance and support. Scroll down a little bit. There, so that's what I was looking for, 9th of September, right?
Right.
So I wanted to check what legislation, if any, was out. So I haven't checked the actual Act of Parliament, but we're going to do it now. So go to legislation. The second tab, legislation.gov.uk.
Nice.
New legislation, you can search. If you click welcome, you got United Kingdom tab at the top.
Yeah.
Click the United Kingdom. Now, usually when government enacts legislation that they do by themselves, they do it through statutory instrument or Acts of Parliament when it's done through like the House of Commons.
Cool.
Let's click on United Kingdom. For some reason, that's not the page I was expecting it to do. Right, there we go. Browse UK legislation. And then, so we've got a choice here, right? So we've got UK Public General Acts, Local Acts, Statutory Instruments. We've got other things there. The two we're going to look at is the UK Public General Acts. Open that one in a new tab.
Yep.
And then open the Statutory Instruments in a new tab.
Cool.
Let's go to the first one.
A few moments later.
Does it only exist within this document and they're claiming that it's law when it's actually not a law at all, and it's simply a piece of advice or guidance for which you can't be punished? Just because the government say that they guide or advise you on something doesn't mean that you can be punished for it. So what we're asking is, it appears that there is no citation on any of the documents that we've looked through that cites the actual legislation that's being claimed by Boris Johnson that actually exists. And if it does,
this is here.
And if it does, we need to know where it is so we can read it.
Yeah.
So let's read this.
Yeah.
From Monday the 14th of September, you must not meet with people from other households socially in groups of more than 6. Citation needed. That needs a footnote, and it needs to say what is, and they don't normally do it on the website, but there should be a citation for that because that's come from somewhere. Where has it come from? Have they plucked it out their arse and stuck it on the website? Or is it actually a statutory instrument or what? Where is it? We need to see that because it appears not to exist. It applies to indoors, outdoors, and including private homes, blah, 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 simplifies it, but basically 6 people, right? The only thing it says there is the link at the bottom. It says, see refreshed guidance. See, it says, look, refreshed guidance on social contact, including the exemptions, including the exemptions to the 6-person limit. Click that link at the bottom. Because now they're describing it as guidance, not law or rule. This guidance that applies to England only. If you live in an area where local restrictions are in place, you should consult the local restrictions guidance. It is critical that everybody observes the following key behaviours. And then it talks about, the usual stuff. But this is guidance. This is not legislation. This is not something you can be fined for. This is not something you can be arrested for. This is just the government's wish that we would abide by the guidance. Well, that's the whole point of a protest. It's about the guidance or the rules that government are creating, right? This doesn't appear to be a law, but they're claiming that it's a law and they're claiming that it's a new rule, but it doesn't actually appear to be. So the call to arms is: does anybody have any citations for this shit? Because if they don't, then they're just making this shit up.
That's pretty much where we're at. And they've stated that it's enforceable in law, not by law. I think they've had to word it that way for a reason, because if they said by law, we would see that citation, right, Riley?
If it was enforceable, the way I understand the difference between the two is if it's enforceable by law, that means police or civil, like lawyers.
Right.
But when it says in law, I'm not that familiar with the term, so it might be my own ignorance. But generally speaking, in law and by law could be seen as like interchangeable and similes. But my understanding is it's by law, so that would be police or civil action.
Right.
But when they say in law, it's like, well, what is the law that they're citing? Because we need the citation for it. We need to know what it says so that it's not been changed by government or by guidance on their website. We can actually read what it says, but
Yeah.
I can't find it anywhere. So it's like, can anybody tell us? Does anybody know where that information is? Can we read it?
Yeah. Thank you for that. I think we're really asking for everyone everywhere to get on this and get some information, some usable information, because this is being enforced apparently as of the 14th of September, which is just in a few days' time. So Riley, thank you so much for looking into this, and if we can find any more information on it, we'll bring everyone up to speed. But in the meantime, as many people as possible that can have a look into this would be as helpful as anything right about now, right?
Yeah. If anybody knows where the legislation is that they're citing, because I've not seen any newspaper, I've not seen any web pages like Sky News, for example. They're not citing where the legislation is. They're telling us it exists, but no one said where. So we can't actually find it, and they would normally do it through statutory instrument. And we've checked them over the last week or two, and it's not there. There's no act of parliament. So where is this legislation? So citation required, please. Anybody know where it is? Let us know. And then we can read it. But if it's actually the case that they're just making this shit up and telling people it's a rule, then it's not a rule.
Thank you. So yeah, you've heard it here, and obviously this is going to be enforceable in a couple of days. So please, as many of you that can get on this as possible would be absolutely awesome. And just so you all know, this recording was done after nearly 45 minutes to an hour on the phone looking into things until we realised, right, we might need to record this because we're still not coming up with anything. I actually hoped, Riley, that in the process of recording this, we would actually stumble across something and not need to do a call to action at the end of this, but it seems that we are having to do so. So again,
and of course it might be that they've not updated the website and these things do actually exist and we just can't find them because they're not actually there yet. But by the time you're listening to this message, it might actually be there, or we're looking in completely the wrong place. But if it exists, we need to know where it is. So let's see if anybody know about this document or legislation or whatever. Let us know.